Georgia entered a season #1 for the first time in school history. UGA 7 debuted, and number 7, the quarterback, was brilliant. Matthew Stafford against Georgia Southern finds Chris Durham.
Terrific protection on a play-action passing. You've got a running back like Knowshon Moreno. You have to respect it, and Durham finishes the play off with a touchdown.
Stafford had a career-high 275 yards passing. The aforementioned Knowshon goes in once, and then Moreno would do it again, Lou.
He's just an outstanding talent with great moves, good balance, and tremendous peripheral vision.
3 touchdowns on 8 carries. He did leave the game with some tender legs. Backup quarterback Joe Cox to the fabulous freshman A.J. Green. Georgia rolls Ohio for Jim Tressel and the Buckeyes against Youngstown State, a program for which Tressel won 4 national championships. Beanie Wells, the picture of health here, 43 yards. Buckeyes go up 7-0. They would lead 26-0. In the third quarter, Buckeyes on the doorstep. Now, Wells, not even any contact here, and he immediately starts grabbing his right foot. Take another look at it. He just went down.
And those things happen, and it's unfortunate right there. Just buckles under it and grabs his foot.
Now, x-rays were negative. That does not necessarily tell us a lot about the injury. They put him in a boot. He obviously didn't return to the game. Making his Ohio State debut, and an impressive one, was Terrell Pryor, Lou.
Oh, tremendous talent. I think he'll have to take on a greater role if Chris Wells can't play a great deal.
Pryor, 9 carries, 66 yards. Buckeyes roll, but they're worried about Beanie.
Without getting medical into it, it's more of a foot thing, and x-rays were negative and those kinds of things. But yeah, absolutely, your heart jumps. The x-rays came out negative.
Okay.
Yeah, so no, but I didn't hear when the trainers came and said to me, you know, that it's more of a foot thing. They didn't use the phrase turf toe. They did use the phrase
Literal rash in a sensitive area from new compression shorts. Mark Sanchez, a more serious one, dislocated his kneecap on August 8th, but he played well. And what about the rest of his offensive teammates here?
It's a terrific job on the screen. It's a number count. Get a hat on a hat, pick a guy, point to him, go down there and block him, and McKnight finishes it off for the touchdown.
Joe McKnight was the second tailback to score on the day after Stephon Johnson had. Then it was C.J. Gable's turn to find the end zone.
Well, they have so many talented backs, but they all look alike. They have great vision, great quickness.
Did I mention Sanchez once had a dislocated kneecap? He looked fine rolling left there, finding David Bueller. He was 26 of 35, but Sanchez was not done at all. He put some air under that one and covered some ground.
That was extremely impressive, Reese. The way that he rolled out, the pressure was coming from the outside. He steps up and makes the play, but the running game from USC was stupendous on this play. And not only that, keep an eye on Sanchez right there. He doesn't have an injured knee. He's going down, making a block for Joe McKnight right there. Springs him for the first down and more. Great hustle by Mark Sanchez.
Lou, is he telling him, don't do that anymore?
No, what he's saying to him is, boy, how much great that is to see your teammate do.
52-7 the final. Illinois and Missouri. Chase Daniel, Jeremy Maclin. Second quarter, the Illini taking the lead, and Maclin, who set a freshman record for all-purpose yards last year, has a Pontiac game-changing nominee. 99 yards, he houses it.
I wonder if the kicker really thought he had a chance at him in the open field. Not a chance. Jeremy Maclin is special. Outstanding right here, picks up the blocker, pushes the block right there. It's like, you've got no shot, son. He turns on the Jets, and he's gone.
Maclin, a little winded, up 31-13. That wouldn't be the worst of him for tonight. Chase Daniel to Tommy Saunders. Missouri up by 18, and under 9 minutes to go. Boy, this is becoming a theme for all these teams. This is Maclin here, and again, no contact on the turf. And they're going to have to follow that philosophy too, perhaps. Lou, we're still awaiting the word on the extent of the foot injury to Jeremy Maclin.
Well, you don't know whether it's a turf toe, which is very, very painful. We'll have to wait and see.
Missouri's defense, which was riddled much of the night by Juice Williams, here comes up with a place. Opening against Alabama in the Georgia Dome, John Parker Wilson in the Tide against Tommy Bowden's 9th-ranked team. First and goal, Alabama controlled the first half. Wilson to Nick Walker, who had a career-high 7 catches, and Alabama was up 20-3. It's 23-3, but Clemson gets back in it with C.J. Spiller, dangerous to kick to him, Mayday.
And there's no way they're going to catch him, one of the fastest men in the entire conference. Look at the separation between C.J. Spiller and any defender from Alabama on the coverage team.
That was the highlight for Clemson on the night. Their offense did nothing. Alabama's offense controlled the ball. Wilson to the freshman sensation, Julio Jones. Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide win at 34-10. You guys know that Julio Jones got more write-in votes than anyone on campus for student body president. And that was before he arrived on campus last spring.
What's going to happen after this game?
They've been anticipating his arrival for a while. The Tide wins it by 24. They had 80 plays to only 48 for Clemson and held Clemson to 0 rushing yards. Time of possession, a joke. Alabama had over 40 minutes.
That is Nick Saban's defense we had talked about. All of a sudden, the second year, it kicked in, present all kind of problems for you, Mayday.
And Clemson, again, high expectations and couldn't fulfill those promises again for the Clemson Tigers.
And an ugly moment for the ACC is the upset that defined the season a year ago. Much has changed for Michigan. Rich Rodriguez now the head coach. They have Utah coming in. Nick Sheridan got the start, the former walk-on. His dad's a coached in the pros for a while, and threw it right into some coverage. Sean Smith with the pick. Sheridan would be replaced in the second half. Now, Brian Johnson threw for over 250 yards in the first half. Mayday, he finds Braden Godfrey.
Nice protection by the offensive line where he can step up in the pocket and make the throw.
Utah to 25-10 lead. You got to be sound in the kicking game. Oh, this is Lou's guy. Louis Dakota, they got a hand on it, Lou.
Well, it's not his fault. He can't protect. He can only kick it. Last year, he had
Kick it quicker.
4 yards a punt.
Now into the game at quarterback, Stephen 3 up top, Junior Hemingway.
Great throw, great catch. Put it the only place the guy could catch the ball.
And on the very next drive, Utah facing a 3rd and long. Johnson's a veteran quarterback. You got to secure the football. He did not, and the Wolverines are alive and breathing. 2nd and goal now for Michigan. 3 to Sam McGuffey, the YouTube sensation. He didn't leap over anybody, but he went in, and the Wolverines within 2. Needed a 2-point conversion to tie it. 3, Tony Clemens, a tad too tall. But Michigan would have another opportunity. 4th and 5, pinned deep in its own end, and 3 has Darryl Stoneham. Open past the line, they draw out there, so we'll know it's a first down, but he fires a little too high, and Utah beats Rodriguez in his opener by 2. West Virginia rolls. Appalachian State against LSU, meeting of 2 national champions, Appalachian State and Jerry Moore from football championship subdivision. LSU, obviously, from the bowl subdivision. Andrew Hatch, former Harvard student, now LSU quarterback, gives it to Charles Scott. That appears to be a very wise move, particularly the LSU front executing well.
And a terrific job by the offensive line. You look at the center and you look at the left guard right there. That's an ace. Add onto the front side, on the back side, it's a slip block. Great zone blocking. It allows Charles Scott to see the seam and make the cutback because of the cutoffs on the backside were perfect. And now he takes the ball and gets a huge gain for the LSU offense.
And guys, remember how Armonte Edwards just cut up Michigan last year in the opener? LSU was having none of that, Lou.
Well, they just hit him very solid. But LSU is so quick on defense that here you see a guy miss a tackle, all of a sudden there's 2 or 3 other people there.
I think that this LSU defense set the tone, Coach. They wanted to make sure to let this team from Appalachian State know that they were in LSU property, LSU territory, and they were going to put the hammer down. Look at the running game. Offensive and defensive line took control.
Charles Scott, a career-high $160. Tyrod Taylor opting for a red shirt for Virginia Tech. Sean Glennon shouldering the quarterback load, the opener against East Carolina. And Glennon, Quentin Cotton picks it off for the Pirates, and that snuffs out a Virginia Tech threat. They had a couple of them. They couldn't cash in on offense. And East Carolina, who shut down the running game for the Hokies last year and a loss, sort of self-destructed for a moment. Backwards pass, Stephon Virgil scores with it.
That was not supposed to be a backward pass, which is why the receiver didn't go after it.
Now keep an eye right there on number 91, John Graves, as East Carolina tried to tie the game with the extra point. Hokie High blocks it. Virgil again scoops and scores, and now it's a 16-13 lead for Beamer. Beamer ball exemplified by Skip Holtz's team in a 22-20 game. Pontiac game-changing nominee T.J. Lee blocks the punt, scoops and scores. Blue, show me exactly what went right for East Carolina and wrong for Virginia Tech.
Well, you'll see number 7 starts like he's rushing on the outside, then he comes underneath. That's the only way you can block the punt. You always honor all inside fakes, never take the outside fake.
Glennon trying to save his team, and he cannot. It's batted away. Glennon 14 of 20. Atlantic Coast Conference, which also, by the way, has lost 8 straight BCS games. Bowling Green and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh ranked in the preseason top 25. LaShawn McCoy, the leading freshman running back in the nation a year ago. Mark scores early.
Fabulous job stopping on a dime, cutting to the right. Great vision by McCoy.
Now, Bowling Green, they'll throw some trickeration around at you. Freddie Barnes comes in and takes the snap, and he finds Chris Bullock, 23 yards. Bowling Green would come back and tie it up, and now Anthony Turner taking a snap. Let's not forget that Tyler Sheehan is actually the quarterback for Bowling Green, and he played well. Bowling Green took the lead, and here goes Sheehan into the end zone. Falcons up 27-17, and he got a great block by Ben Boychich.
Oh, that's just a pancake block. Put him on his back and let him look at the sky.
27-17, Bowling Heisman Trophy winner, Florida Gators against Hawaii. Hawaii was that team from the non-BCS league. They went to a BCS game last year, but this is an entirely new cast, new coach, most of the starters gone, and not enough guys to cover the punt when Brandon James gets a hold of it.
Oh, he just has an explosive punt returner. Led the SEC in punt returns last year. We'll probably do it again this year.
Tebow's NCAA record streak of a rushing touchdown in the game ends at 14 in a row, but he still found Lewis Murphy for a touchdown. Tebow 9 of 14, 137 yards. Gators by plenty. Go. Bo Pelini's debut for Nebraska against Western Michigan. All the Nebraska faithful, the children of the corn, delighted to have someone that they feel understands the culture there better. Joe Gans, Mike McNeil. Cornhuskers up 14-0, and then Gans would find Nate Swift, Luke.
Oh, this is just a nice play-action pass. Gans last year in the last 3 games threw for over 1,500 yards. He picked up right where he left off.
Yeah, offense wasn't the problem. Defense was last year. Pelini still hasn't handed out those black shirts. Nebraska rolls easily. Arkansas State and Texas A&M. Mike Sherman making his debut as the Aggies head coach. Mike Goodson putting the Ags on top 7-3, and then Goodson would extend that lead mark here. Things looked okay for A&M.
Just a nice job of getting to the corner and using his speed and circling the defense.
But in the fourth, Aggies up 14-9. Arkansas State, Corey Leonard to Kevin Jones. 2-point conversion failed. It's still 15-14. Stephen McGee picked off by Ben Owens in an Arkansas State's first game being known as the Red Wolf. Number 13, Wisconsin breaking in a new quarterback, Allen Everidge, against Akron. Of course, having the Wisconsin Winnebago, P.J. Hill helps made it.
And he's got some great hips for a big man, and he's smart enough to follow his blockers and take it inside.
He would go over 200 yards for the second time in his career, scored a couple of touchdowns on Wisconsin, 38-17, the final as Bielema is off to a 1-0 start. And against Washington, never has Washington lost 5 consecutive times to the Ducks, and they would have to pull a huge upset if they wanted to avoid it this time. Jeremiah Johnson, a little shake and gone.
Big-time shake and bacon right there again. Great moves, cut back. Nice job of taking it inside the 5.
If it works, give it to him again, huh, Lou?
Absolutely.
Oh, put him in the spin cycle. Forget the no spin zone. Bill O'Reilly couldn't have stopped that spin. Ducks take the lead. Third quarter, 1st and 10. Here comes Johnson again. Second touchdown of the game, and Oregon steamrolls Washington 44-10. Johnson goes for $124. Ole Miss and Memphis, the Right Reverend. The Rebel congregation is going to rise up. Jevin Sneed, the Texas transfer. Hey, he had Shea Hodge. He might be as talented as any quarterback in the league this side of Tebow and Stafford.
No doubt about it. We said we thought he would be.
Coach O left a little speed around. Dexter McCluster takes the snap. It's the Wild Rebel formation, sort of like the Darren McFadden thing, the Wild Hog that they used at Arkansas. Now take a look at Sneed. That's him out there with McCluster again taking the snap, and now Brandon Bolden throws it to him. Sneed's a dual threat guy anyway. Runs well, and Ole Miss, hotty toddy gosh almighty, 41-24. Over Memphis. Mississippi State, Louisiana Tech. Derek Dooley, son of the legendary Vince Dooley. Louisiana Tech down 14-9. Patrick Jackson. La Tech in Ruston has the lead 16-14. This is not the type of encore that Sylvester Croom had in mind after his 8-win season a year ago. Wesley Carroll trying to lead the Dogs to the lead, but he threw it in traffic. Deion Young, the pick, takes it back 41 yards. Louisiana Tech wins it 22-14, the low point for the SEC. Team, the final. Sparty going out west to take on Cal. Fourth quarter, this game had Cal getting the lead. Sparty trying to hang in. Kevin Riley, who got the start, finds Will Tuufa. Riley threw for 202 yards, couple of touchdown passes. What about Shane Vereen and the great play up front to spring it?
Now that's offensive execution. Hat on a hat at the point of attack and keep those legs moving, and a great job of busting through the hole.
Redshirt freshman showed the wheels. 81 yards he went. Brian Hoyer trying to save Michigan State. Unable to do so, and Cal wins it by a count of 38-31.
take them every day. Bluegrass State matchup, Louisville and Kentucky, Governor's Cup trophy at stake, as well as a 1-0 or 0-1 start. Hunter Cantwell's your quarterback now, 3 seasons watching Brian Brom. He looked good in the 06 season when he played a bit, but he didn't look good tonight. Louisville averaged 16 plus yards per game last season, just 205 in this one. Cantwell on the offense not getting it going, and then they put the football on the ground. Bilal Powell stripped by Myron Pryor, and Ashton Cobb 28 yards back, and Rich Brooks' club up 10-0 at the half. They forced 5 turnovers. This is the most memorable. Cantwell hit from behind in the 4th quarter in a 20-2 game. He's 6'1", 310 pounds, and hits Pryor. And he's going to outrace the offensive lineman. Man, that's a defensive lineman's dream. Nightmare for Louisville in their home opener. Kentucky bounces them 27-2.
Colorado State at Colorado. Haven't seen either team. I should. Second quarter, Colorado State down 7-0 and punting. The high snap will get away from CSU's Anthony Hartz. Ew. He recovers, but he's tackled at the 5. Colorado scores their second touchdown 2 plays later. Now Colorado up 14-7. Josh Smith returning the kickoff after a CSU score. There he goes, 93 yards. Colorado goes up 21-7. Now the ensuing kickoff after that kickoff return. John Mosher, there he goes. Look at 7 go. 90 yards, and Colorado State cuts the lead 21-14. Fourth quarter, Darrell Scott. This was a dude, true freshman. USC wanted him. Texas wanted him. Florida wanted him. Went to Colorado, and he's looking good there. First collegiate touchdown. Colorado wins 38-17.